Hi everyone, Des Adams with another coverage from the book on how to change your life. A very interesting little book by Anthony Kidman. And today's topic is developing conversation skills. And this is a thing I've been very interested in, even at a younger age. I love the opportunity to be able to do some form of public speaking and try and improve on my conversation skills. But have you ever felt that uncomfortable feeling in a group of people where the conversation suddenly becomes full of pregnant pauses or awkward situations, everyone straining to think of something to say? If that sounds familiar, well, it certainly can happen to anyone at any time. And when this happens, people tend to become anxious, and it can make the situation even worse. I can remember being at parties where you didn't know many people there, and you sort of became sitting in the corner just talking to yourself. So how do we fix it? Well, it's important to decide how you want to present yourself in conversation with others and what it is you want to achieve from a conversation. And I've picked up some tips from this book, but also from looking online. And here are some of the tips. The first one is questions are often the best way to initiate and sustain a conversation. Now, not to the point of where you're drilling people with questions, but just sort of subtly mixing questions in when you're speaking to them. The second point is try and use what are called open-ended questions. That is, questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. And I'll give some examples of those later on in this video. Third point is to speak slowly. Now, this might seem a bit strange, but it allows you time to think particularly if you're standing or if you're thinking on your feet. So, like a lot of people will speak very fast, and I'm amazing. Some nationalities have incredible skills, and I often admire them to being able to speak so fast. But when you're in a general conversation, it's nice to slow down and just think about your next idea that you're coming up with. Also, number 4, hold more eye contact with people. That's a very important principle of any form of conversation. Like if you tend to shift away and you're not looking directly at people, it can create a little bit of unease in the other person. Number 5, notice fine details about the other person. Now, this could be something like as simple as a ring that they're wearing, or just something about their clothing, because by taking a genuine interest in other people, particularly when you're speaking to them, that's a very, very valuable skill to develop. Number 6, give genuine compliments of something special about the other person. And the stress there is on genuine compliments, not just making up something for the sake of saying it. Number 7, express your genuine emotions or feelings. I think when it comes to conversation, a lot of people don't feel comfortable opening up to others, but that can often open up and get people to encourage to speak to you in more depth. So I think that's a very important point. Number 9, and this is one that I learnt in reading in many of the sales type books, use the best words. And all the surveys they've done with the top CEOs in companies and top management people, they've found that as a general rule, they have very, very strong vocabulary skills. And of course, if you're in a leading position like that, you rely a lot on the words that you use. So I can remember Reader's Digest, they used to have a word of the day and in their little books about similar size to this book. And I used to love reading them because they'd come up with some very unusual words that you'd never heard of. but you're able then to use those words in conversation. So yeah, having a wider vocabulary is a great way to help in having conversation with people. Now, a good conversation starter is to remember, and I can't recall where I actually picked this up from. It might have been from Tom Hopkins, one of the great sales trainers, but it's called the FORM formula. And what it stands for is when you're talking to other people, you think in terms of family, occupation, recreation, and money. And I have used that over many years, and I've found it extremely handy, because obviously one of the first things people would love to talk about is their family or friends, and also of course F can stand for friends as well, but normally family, their occupation, what they love doing for recreation, and money doesn't mean you're not asking them how much money they're making. It can lead on to other aspects of their life, whether they're interested, particularly if you're online, you're interested in creating money. Now, some examples of open-ended questions could be something as simple as, where do you work? What do you do there? You notice that, like, where do you work? They can't say yes to that. They've got to give, some sort of explanation or some more details. What were the main reasons you chose your current job? You sound as though you like your work. What is it you like about it so much? And another one was, what do you like about where you live? That's an answer to that could be, that sounds great. I thought about living in a similar area to you. And I'll have all these listed in the video and also description and also on Facebook. So it's important, I think, with general conversation to be not to be over anxious about how people are reacting to you. And the more you practice your questions and anticipated responses, the better you will get at this. And it's also very, very important to listen carefully, very carefully, to what other people are saying so that you can respond effectively. Well, I hope those tips are valuable for you. There's some things that I've found extremely helpful in just general conversation, and I'll finish off with one thing here. Oh yeah. There may be times when you don't have an open-ended question in mind and you don't wish to say anything about yourself. So, are you interested in what the other person has said and would like to hear more? Therefore, highlighting something the other person has already said is another idea of actually answering them. But once again, listening carefully to what they, and being direct and honest is obviously the best way. And in terms of ending conversation, that can be a tricky one too. It's a separate, sometimes difficult step in itself. But it mentions here, it's better to end a conversation before you run out of something to say or get stuck with an unwanted topic. It will help you, knowing that you can always stop a conversation when you want to, will help you to relax and provides a greater sense of control. Okay, and at the moment in Sales Vision we're doing a lot of training and enjoying it, and also we've had some amazing success on cryptocurrency from Vincent's recommendation. So it's certainly an exciting company to be involved in, and I look forward to, I hope you have a great day, and thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye.